Hey, Anne Marie, how you doing? Thank you so much for including your banner as well as your magazine ad. And this is very good writing describing your intent to a very high degree. Excellent job there. Okay, I've got the banner ad and the magazine ad. I think the first thing I really want to mention is, of course, the orientation of the magazine ad. That should be set at 8.5 by 11. So you definitely want to reformat that. We see some inconsistencies in the presentation of the type. So, of course, that's Arial bold, right? The headline's Arial bold italic for the subhead. Arial regular for the body copy. So let's go ahead and get that reformatted. Now, another thing I'm seeing a big difference is the color, the basic color of the background image here and here. This is much more blue. This is more on the teal / green side. So you want to get those to a very high degree of consistency in presentation. I recommend adjustment layers to make sure that the color is consistent in the campaign. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. So we definitely want to get that adjusted before final submission, that magazine ad, definitely. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the banner ad. It's a good start. It's a great start. Really, really, everything here is really effective. It works out very well. A couple of recommendations here is I want to open this area up a little bit because I think it would be more, I think this is a perfect image for the banner ad. I really do. I think if we place this diver right here, we can do some really neat things here. Let me describe what I mean. Okay, so swim with the turtles. Don't forget, you use the same case too. Okay, so you have turtles capitalized here. You'd have them, they're not capitalized here. So again, let's get some consistency in typographic presentation. Okay, swim with the turtles. Don't think you need the period. Okay, receive free snorkeling package. Now, if that's your headline, or your subhead, I think it's a pretty long subhead. I do. I think that you could probably even condense that down to something like free snorkeling package with when you book 6 nights. So you can really condense that. If you want to keep it that exact same verbiage, just go ahead and drop when you book 6 nights down to the next line. Okay, headline might be just a little bit large, and the subhead, I would recommend dropping the scale, drop this size of the type by 1 point and the subhead by 1 point, maybe even 2. See how it works. What I'm getting at is I want to confine the headline subhead to this area right here. You can even move it to the left a little bit right here, something like this area right here. The reason I want to do that is because we're going to show you a really neat trick, and this image is perfectly suited. Now, we place that image of the diver right here, and what that does is whenever there's a person a person or an animal in a composition, the eye gets drawn there first. So we can use that to our benefit to push the viewer to look at the type. Okay, so let me describe what I mean. We have the reformatting of the type right here. We place the diver right here. So she's like this. We're going to look at her. We're going to look at her face. All right. She is looking in a direction, which means we're going to follow that direction. Okay. So if we place her right here, we follow her sight line, and it's going to lead us right to the free snorkeling. And the swim with the turtles is a free snorkeling message, right? Then you have your book now. Other than that, and I think this focal point's just a little bit small. It almost creates a little bit of visual tension because as a focal point, it's saying look at me first, but it's so small that it's saying don't look at me first. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's just a conflicting scale is creating a conflicting message as to whether or not the designer wants the viewer to establish that as a focal point and look at that area first. Again, I think the diver would fit perfectly there. Okay, fantastic job so far, Anne Marie. I think that there's a little bit of work here. Let's get this campaign tightened up and ready for a final presentation coming up here very quickly next week. Okay, Anne Marie, any questions, comments, clarifications, please let me know, and I'll be glad to provide in that regard. Just notice something. Check your placement of the logo. That looks like it's been distorted a little bit. Now, when you place a logo and you resize it, you know how you select it and you grab the corner bounding box, hold your mouse key down and resize it. Make sure you hold your shift key down, because when you resize it, it looks like it got distorted. We can see that. It's hard to tell, but if you look at the basic shape, yeah, just check it. Make sure, check that with the original from from the style guide, just to make sure that hasn't been distorted at all. A great way is to check the shape of the logo mark itself. So, all right, fantastic. As I said, any questions at all, please let me know. Thanks, Anne Marie.